Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's protection update. It was great to see so many of you at our Trust Made Simple workshops earlier this week. Remember, we still have another Trust Made Simple workshop on Wednesday the 25th of August, so if you'd like to attend, you can register using the link on this protection update. Now, I know that one or two of you did register for the sessions this week but didn't manage to come along, so if you did miss out, you can book a place on our last workshop, which is, as I say, the 25th of August. There are still a few spaces left. So how can we make the job of writing protection policies into trust more simple? Well, if we look at it primarily in terms of setting up the right type of outcome that we need for our clients, what needs to happen when the life assured of a life assurance policy dies during their policy term? Well, if we look at the family and what they need, they're probably going to be grieving, but the tap to a major source of income has just been switched off forever. So do they need the money? Well, the good news is they're entitled to receive the proceeds of the life assurance policy, and probably, yes, they do need the money. When do they need it? Well, ASAP. But what length of time would you say is unreasonable in terms of waiting for the proceeds of a life assurance policy to be paid out? That's an interesting question, because if you think about it for a second, let's just say you're entitled to, say, £250,000 from a life assurance policy. How long should you wait? A week? A month? Several months? A year? More than a year? How long is too long to wait? Well, claims for single life policies not written into trust will need a death certificate. That shouldn't take too long to get. A claim form, again, shouldn't take too long. Maybe the policy document should have that, and the grant of probate or the certificate of confirmation if you're in Scotland. That's the thing that many people don't realise that they need. And the process of obtaining a grant of probate can take months to complete. And until this is done, you won't be able to give the life company everything that they need in order to complete the claim process. And that means you could be waiting for quite a while for the claim to be paid out. Cooperative funeral services say that probate can take between 9 and 12 months. So why is a trust a good idea? Well, for policies written into trust, the life company simply don't ask for a grant of probate or a certificate of confirmation, which means the claim is paid a lot more quickly. We're talking about a few days or a few short weeks rather than months or even years. Now, one of the other big things to come out of these Trust Made Simple workshops is to ensure that the money from the life assurance claim ends up in the hands of the people for whom they're intended. Now, I'm going to do some more blogs and podcasts on the subject of beneficiaries when it comes to trust, because I do think the various provided trust deeds, they don't always help you, the advisor, in the middle of this process. But again, let's keep things simple. We know that with a trust, we always choose additional trustees because they're going to act on behalf of the life assured or the settler when it comes to distributing the proceeds of the policy. Trustees are people we trust, and we trust that they'll do the right thing. But is there something that we can do to help these trustees understand exactly what it is that they need to do, if and when the time comes with regard to paying the claim proceeds to the right people? Well, the answer is a letter of wishes. On our recent protection survey, only 8% of you said that you had a high level of confidence to help your clients set up a letter of wishes. In fact, 49.12% of you said that you weren't confident at all. So what is a letter of wishes? Well, there are templates, but it could just be as simple as a Word document. It's a Word document addressed to each trustee with a simple line of text that explains what they need to do if they're called upon following a claim. Now, next week, I want to do a fuller piece about letter of wishes to do it justice, because this is an area that isn't done very often within our industry, but it's so important at making sure the money following a claim goes to the right people. Now, as part of this trust campaign, I've got an agreement with most of the main protection providers to record podcasts where they can demonstrate how we can write one of their life policies into one of their discretionary trusts. Now, the client each time is John, who has a single life assurance policy that's already in force. He's got a partner, Janet, but they're not married. And in this series of podcasts, we're going to look at how to go through the process from start to finish. This week, we're going to be looking at the Aviva process, and I sat down with Stuart Easton earlier this week to run through that scenario. What I think will be really good, and I don't think this has ever been done before, is we're going to build up a resource library where you'll be able to make sure you're following the trust process correctly using these podcasts, so you'll be able to refer back to them. So as I say, this week it's Aviva, next week it's Aegon, and thereafter we'll be looking at the process for AIG, Vitality, Legal & General, Royal London and Zurich. So watch this space for these podcasts. So that's it from me for another week. Have a great weekend and I'll speak to you soon.